کارآمد ثابت ہو سکتے ہیں.
بالکل. اور آپ نے نواز کی بات کی، میرے خیال ہے ہم شاہین شاہ افریدی کو آبویسلی ان ایکشن
شاہین کو مس کریں گے. شاہین کو
پہلی اننگز میں سے
نیا
4
بال ہو
وکٹیں
پرانا ہو. پہلے ٹیسٹ میچ میں شروع میں جو آؤٹ کیا انہوں نے، شاہین کے ہیمسٹرنگ کا تھوڑا ایشو چل رہا ہے. یہ ہوپ کہ بہت لمبا سیزن ہے. ڈیمو کو شروع میں ہی آؤٹ کر دیا تھا انہوں نے، اور پھر لنچ سے راؤنڈ دا وکٹ آیا یہاں سے دھننجیا
آل راؤنڈر.
بالکل بالکل دکھواڑا یہاں پلان کر کے ان کو ٹریپ کر کے یہاں پہ آؤٹ کیا انہوں نے، وائڈ گلی لے کے. ٹھیک شانہ
بہائنڈ دا وکٹ تھوڑے سے شرارتی لگے پہلے ٹیسٹ میچ کے اندر، بہت زیادہ شرارت کرتے ہیں.
لانگ سیزن ہے ہمارا بہت. ابھی یہ ٹیسٹ میچ ختم ہو گئے، اس کے بعد پاکستان کی ٹیم نیدرلینڈ ہے، نیدرلینڈ کے بعد ایشیا کا بارہ ہے، دبئی میں موو ہو گیا ہے. اس کے بعد بہت کرکٹ ہے، تو اس لیے بڑا سلیکٹو آپ کو ڈیسیجن دینے پڑیں گے. شاہین کے لیے بھی، سب کے لیے بہت زیادہ کرکٹ اوور لوڈ نہ ہو. اسی لیے پاکستان ٹیم بھی کوشش کریے بہت زیادہ پلیئرز کا جو سینٹرل پول اس کو بڑا کیا جائے، اور کرنے میں کامیاب ہوئے ہیں. ابھی تو ٹیسٹ میچ چل رہا ہے لیکن بہت زیادہ کرکٹ آ رہی ہے تھرو آؤٹ دا ایئر. آپ دیکھیں ہمیں جو ہمیں بھی مینیج کرنا پڑے گا. ہمیں بھی ایک بندہ چاہیے اسامہ بھائی، ہمیں بھی بندہ چاہیے.
دل کی باتیں ہونا شروع ہو گئی ہیں گیم ہونے میں، اور ہم کوشش تو یہی کرتے ہیں کہ دل کی بات کریں، سوچ سمجھ کے کریں. لیکن صاحب میں رجیتا کا ڈیسیجن نہیں مجھے سمجھ میں آیا، کیونکہ لیفٹ آرم میڈیم پیسر کو یہ انہوں نے انکلوڈ کیا ہے بیچ میں، اور 12% انہوں نے پیسر استعمال کیا تھا.
شاید ہمیں اسٹوری نہیں پتا، ہو سکتا ہے کوئی نگل ہو، کوئی انجری ہو، وہ بھی ہو سکتی ہے. تھوڑا اینگل بھی چینج کیا ہوگا.
ٹھیک ہے،
شاید اینگل چینج کیا ہو، لیکن وہ پر ڈینجرس تھے امام الحق کے لیے. تو
اینجلو میتھیوز 100 ٹیسٹ میچ. اینجلو میتھیوز کنگریچولیشنز.
گڈ پلیئر، بہت ہی زبردست پلیئر. انجری بہت زیادہ رہی ان کو لیکن کم بیک اچھا کرتے رہے، اور کسی بھی ٹیسٹ پلیئر کے لیے یہ مومنٹ امیزنگ.
ایگزیکٹلی. اور اسی کے ساتھ میں دعا کرتا ہوں سر آج کے فواد عالم کے 1000 ٹیسٹ میچ 1000 اسکور جو ہے وہ پورا ہو جائے، کیونکہ ان کا ماشاءاللہ 10 سے 12 سال کا کیریئر ہو گیا، ان کا 1000 رن نہیں پورے ہوئے ٹیسٹ میچز کے. اللہ کرے آج ہو جائے انشاءاللہ. فواد بھائی اگر آپ بھی سن رہے ہیں تو آپ بھی پوری کوشش کریے گا.
میچ میں وہ نہیں سن رہے، وہ نہیں سن رہے.
نہیں مجھے وہ نہیں سن رہے، پیغام پہنچ جائے گا، کیونکہ بہت ساری باتیں ایسی جو ہم یہاں کرتے ہیں پھر بعد میں کہیں کسی اور کے منہ سے سننے کو ملتی ہیں. الحمدللہ میں اللہ کا بڑا شکر ادا کرتا ہوں. لیکن اللہ کرے، میری بڑی دعا ہے کہ 1000 ٹیسٹ رن تو ان کے آج مکمل ہو جانے چاہیے انشاءاللہ. کیونکہ اگر نہیں ہوں گے سر تو مجھے بڑا دکھ رہے گا، کیونکہ آپ اظہر علی کے 100 ٹیسٹ میچ پورے کرانا چاہتے ہیں، میں فواد کے 1000 ٹیسٹ رن پورے کرانا چاہتا ہوں. میری امید ہے کہ آج انشاءاللہ وہ ہماری امیدوں کے اوپر پورا اتریں گے. کوئی اور حکمت عملی سر آپ کے ذہن میں ہو جب اتنے اسپنرز کھیل رہے ہوں دونوں طرف سے، تو کیا حکمت عملی ہے ہمارے؟
میری تو ایک ہی تھوڑی چینج تھی. میں نے کہا تھا کہ رانا صاحب کو کھیلنا چاہیے تھا یہ ٹیسٹ میچ، کیونکہ فاسٹ بال پہ لوڈ زیادہ ہوگا نہیں. لیفٹ ہینڈر بیٹسمین مل رہے ہیں ہمیں، لیفٹ ہینڈ بیٹسمین مل رہا ہے، تو یہ حکمت عملی ایک تھی جو ہماری اپنی تھی.
جی. اور سر اسی کے ساتھ ایک اور چیز بھی میں یہاں پہ مینشن کرنا چاہتا ہوں جو ہم نے شروع میں ہی مینشن کی تھی کہ ورلڈ ٹیسٹ چیمپئن شپ کے اندر اب ہم 3رے نمبر پہ اور شری لنکا 6ٹھے نمبر پہ سلپ کر چکا ہے. اگر ہم یہ ٹیسٹ میچ بھی جیتے ہیں، کیونکہ وہ آپ
فائنل میں جانے کے چانسز ہو جائیں گے، لیکن ابھی انڈیا اور آسٹریلیا کی 4 ٹیسٹ میچ کی سیریز شاید مجھے جہاں تک پتا ہے ابھی ہونے والی ہے، وہ اس پہ ڈیسائیڈ ہوگا.
اور ایک اور بات یہاں پہ میں پوچھنا چاہتا ہوں، جب ہم نے بابر کو کھیلتے ہوئے دیکھا، جو آپ نے بات کی تھی بڑی درست ثابت ہوئی. آپ نے کہا کہ بابر شروع میں آئیں گے، سٹروکس بنائیں گے، رنز جیسے ہی وہ ایڈ آن کرنا شروع ہوں گے تو بالر بالکل ان کے حساب سے بال کریں گے. لیکن فیلڈ بھی میں نے ون ڈے کے حساب سے فیلڈ پلیس ہوتے ہوئے دیکھی، جیسے ہی بابر نے کھیلنا شروع کیا کھل گئے ایک دم سے.
کیا ہے کہ غلطی کرتے ہیں کیپٹن کرتے ہیں کہ یہ تو آؤٹ ہی نہیں ہوگا، اس طرح سے مائنڈ سیٹ بن جاتا ہے. ایسے پلیئر پہ ایڈڈ پریشر ڈالا جاتا ہے. آپ جہاں پہ وہ اسٹرانگ ہے وہاں سے پلیئر ہٹا دیں، وہ مارنے دیں وہاں پہ شاٹ، تو وہی مسٹیک ہوتی ہیں. تھوڑا سا ون ڈے T20 اتنا کھیل رہے ہیں تو فیلڈ کو اسپریڈ کر دیتے ہیں، اور یہی چیز سری لنکا نے عبداللہ شفیق کے ساتھ کی ہے. تو لیکن جتنا اٹیک کریں گے اتنا چانسز ہوتے ہیں آؤٹ ہونے کے.
اور سر جو ویدر اور بریز کی بات ہوئی تھی کہ وہاں پہ ویدر آبویسلی بڑا انسرٹن رہتا ہے، ہوا بڑی تیز چلتی ہے، جسٹ along the سی سائڈ ہے، اس کا کیا امپیکٹ ہوگا؟
ڈفرینٹ ہے. سری لنکا میں موسٹلی جو گراؤنڈز ہیں وہ سمندر کے کنارے ہیں. کہیں کہیں فاسٹ بالر کو رات پہلے میچز میں بڑا ہیلپ فل ہوتا ہے، سوئنگ شروع ہو جاتا ہے. یہاں پہ ڈفرینٹ ہے کہ ہم سمندر کی ہواؤں کی وجہ سے اسپن کو ڈیسائیڈ کر رہے ہیں. یہ میرے لیے بھی اور دوسروں کے لیے بھی نئی چیز ہے.
شاکنگ ہے تھوڑا سا.
اس کو ہمیں دیکھنا پڑے گا کہ کیا وجہ ہے کہ شروع میں اتنا اسپن ہو رہا ہے اور لاسٹ ڈے کم ہوتا چلا جا رہا ہے. یہ कोई ना कोई जरूर चीजें देखनी
और
पड़ेंगी।
क्या देखते हैं आज पहले दिन के इख्तिताम पे टोटल?
श्रीलंका मेरे ख्याल से हार्ड आएगा आज।
Hard आएगा. All right, thank you very much, Rashid bhai, for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation. Sri Lanka is going to come hard, and ladies and gentlemen, believe me, Pakistan is going to come back harder. With that, we're actually going to take you to Galle, Sri Lanka, where it's going to be the second Test match, first day in between Pakistan versus Sri Lanka. May the best team win. All the best. Game on hai. Allah Hafiz. Look after yourselves. Thank you very much, Rashid bhai.
Thank you.
Game on hai.
Played here by Sri Lanka, and I say that they haven't exactly owned this venue, but they certainly do play well here. Their history suggests that it is a beautiful venue. It has the Indian Ocean on both sides of the ground, and the wonderful fort at the southern end, the French fort, built originally by the Portuguese. And Babar Azam giving the last words to the Pakistan cricket side. Alongside me, former Pakistan opening batsman Amir Sohail. Two changes to this Pakistan side. Amir, are you comfortable with them? Happy?
Yeah, makes sense. Bringing in a left-handed batsman against those left-arm spinners who troubled the Pakistanis in the previous Test match. It's a good call. And bringing in the left-arm spinner, it's a good call from the captain. Yeah, there was a lot of conjecture, lots of discussion at the start of the first match when Fawad Alam was dropped, that he's hard done by, but he's back in the side. And Sri Lanka has made two changes as well. Brought in Villalage. Yeah, he's an exciting talent. Shanda Fernando likes to dictate the bowlers. Is not afraid to play his strokes, and ever reliable. Dimuth Karunaratne with a healthy average. He's been awfully quiet. In the last two series, only one score of more than 50 runs for Karunaratne. Certainly he'll like to redeem himself. Hassan Ali to take the new ball for Pakistan.
Well, Pakistan now just with the two seamers. In that first Test match they had the three, but Shaheen Shah Afridi is injured. So don't be alarmed, he hasn't been left out for any other reason than an injury. Now Shada Fernando has got a couple of starts in that first Test, but he'll be hoping that he can go on. Selectors have shown the faith in picking him, and Pathum Nissanka, who was available for selection, not regaining his place in the side. Yeah. Noan Ali, the left arm spinner, as you mentioned, and Fawad Alam, who's got a very, very good record against spin. That might have been the reason why he's been brought into the side. And those changes that you mentioned to Sri Lanka, Dimuth Villalage, the young 19-year-old, what a talent that he is. So in his first Test match, he was presented his cap by the man who I suppose this Test match is all about, Angelo Matthews, in his 100th Test match for his country.
Yeah, it's a huge moment for any cricketer to be there for his country at this level for the 100th time. It tells you the utility and the ability of the man. He's been a true servant of Sri Lankan cricket. Hassan Ali.
Oh, swing in with that breeze, as we've seen over the last few weeks, the stiff breeze that blows across the ground from the right-hander's offside away to his leg.
Now, we saw that happening in the first Test match as well. It was surprising for many to see the ball swinging in the air and deviation of the surface. Created a lot of problems for the batters. Seminal work is required from these two openers. Well watched.
I suppose the next topic of conversation, I mean, needs to be the surface. You know, a lot has been made of this pitch, or this square, I should say, over the last couple of months. And that the first Test chasing a record score, Pakistan did it just 6 down. What do you make of this one? We've moved slightly.
The surface has retained a bit of moisture, and when I went out and had a look at the pitch, shout, asking questions straight away from the umpire Hassan Ali. It seems like it was doing a bit. And Rizwan said there is no need to refer it. Not sure. They're talking about the pitch. There is some moisture in it, and that's why you see this kind of deviation of the surface. They've got to be careful, got to be watchful, these two openers, that's for sure. And when you tapped at the pitch, it gave you that hollow sound. Didn't give you that dot sound where you say, okay, this pitch is going to be good for batting for first 3 days.
Right, we've seen 2 swing in and 2 go away. That LBW shout, Pakistan correctly deciding not to go upstairs. We know how vital it is to keep your reviews in hand, because traditionally this pitch does offer, the square offers turn. Almost a bit of a graveyard for umpires, because it is so difficult to officiate here with the amount of turn that spinners can get.
It's an important test match for both the sides. If Pakistan is able to win this one on this pitch, which has a bit of moisture in it, it will evaporate very quickly, one hopes. But coming back to the importance of this test match, if Pakistan is able to win this one or draw it, they'll retain that number 3 position in ICC ranking. And if Sri Lanka wins, Pakistan will relinquish their position in the ICC ranking. End of the first over. None for none.
इसके सामने सर कैसे खो जाऊं? वो देखो।
क्या था वहाँ? इस शर्मिंदा कर देने वाली खारिश की वजह हो सकती है डैंड्रफ। नया हेड एंड शोल्डर्स नीम के साथ आया। हेड एंड शोल्डर्स नीम, ये डैंड्रफ से लड़े और सर की खारिश कम करे, कंधे से बोझ हटा दे।
Back in the side at the expense of Carson Rajata. More of the aggressive of the two, Master Fernando. Well, we won't forget the name at the top of that Pakistan batting order. Abdullah Shafiq, 160 not out in a record chase. That was an exceptional performance from a young man, believe it or not, just starting out in his test career. Sunshine. We haven't seen sunshine for the last couple of days here in Gaul. There's been plenty of rain about. It's been overcast, but the sun has made a welcome appearance. Now Nasim Shah.
He'll bowl quick, that's for sure.
Dimit Karunaratne, you mentioned that he hasn't sort of set the world alight in the last few months. I always refer to the last few months because this is where we've been for the last few months, and there's been a lot of cricket played here. And he has got a good record in Gaul, and he gets a couple of starts, but he is the most successful batter, opening batter in Test match cricket in the last 3 years. He's the most runs. He's got over 1,800 runs at an average of 50. So he's really had a good time of it. But he needs a performance here now. His side's 1-0 down.
Yeah, you're so used to see Timoth batting for a longer period of times. He hasn't done that of late. It's not that he's out of form. He's middling the ball. This is the evidence how successful, how consistent he has been, averaging more than 50.
This is interesting. Has that kept low on day one? Yeah, Rohit Sharma of India at the top of the order. Certainly hasn't been doing that his whole career, but just found a home at the top of the order. Rohit Sharma, Craig Brathwaite of the West Indies. He's held that batting order together for a couple of years. That now they're starting to flourish as a test side.
Ominous signs already. Day one of the test match, first session, and have a look. And it was held in the surface too. That's the evidence of a lot of moisture in the surface. There is a movement for the Pakistani bowlers that we have witnessed in first 2 overs. The need for Naseem Shah to pitch the ball in the right areas. He's been all over the place.
Yeah, and let's spare a thought for Naseem Shah. He doesn't often get this job, the new ball for Pakistan. I mean, he's bowled in 19 innings for his country in Test match cricket. 19 innings, not Test matches. And he's only shared the new ball 3 times. So this is a skill in itself, bowling with a new one. That's better. End of the second. 0 for 0. Starting to look well used, isn't it? Gaul now. It's certainly been a great venue for Test cricket. It's given us something different. You know, so often we see the ball nip around on day one and then flatten out for the batters, and then spinners get their role to do on the last day of the Test match. But not here. Not here. It's a different type of Test match. Angelo Matthews in his 100th Test match. Dinesh Chandimal. This is his 70th, but Myers, he's shown some form of late. The other thing about the pitch, we were talking a little bit about, you know, the weather and the effect that it has on it, is that we've had some rain here the last couple of days, and the curator hasn't had a huge amount of time to probably get the surface exactly the way he would like to, because it would have been under covers for an entire day. Yesterday wasn't too bad, and then obviously there was the Test match that went on for 5 days.
It's a tedious job, isn't it? The curator, especially at Gaul, when you don't have much time. There are a few barren areas in that square, meaning this will give opportunity for the fast bowlers to get the ball reversing. And also the curator must be confused. Now that wicket against Australia in the first Test match wasn't suited to the Sri Lankan batsmen. And the last Test match played against Pakistan, that pitch flattened out and their spinners had to toil hard to pick up wickets. And in the end, Pakistan won that Test match. So, he must have been confused how to go about the job. Hence, we see a lot of moisture in the surface, thinking the first couple of days, the pitch is going to hold up and then deteriorate. Tough job. But at the moment, it's a tough job for the opener out there in the middle, Shanda. Off the mark.
Well, that sort of movement into the right-hander might be interesting for Karunaratne, because that would swing late away from the left-hander, and Babar Azam has got a number of slips in place and a gully. What a moment for this man, Angelo Matthews. Lovely presentation done before the start of play. Fellow commentator Russell Arnold leading that, with his family all here, and the great Jaminda Vaas also making an appearance. All his teammates just celebrating what a wonderful achievement that is of what has been a great career.
It has been. He's been there for 100 test matches. It tells you about his ability and utility for the Sri Lankan cricket. Excellent servant of the game, Angelo Matthews.
He started off as an all-rounder, didn't he? Bowled and batted, and then the bowling sort of disappeared as there was the onset of injuries. But this is what it was about. First thing this morning, the presentation to Angelo Matthews, who certainly has covered himself in glory over the last 13 years or so with his country. End of the third, one without loss.
आजकल की गर्मी में चाहिए ज्यादा ठंडक फौरी, इसलिए यूरोपियन टेक्नोलॉजी से बने डॉलन्स इन्वर्टर एसी के विंड ब्लास्ट फीचर से मिले 30% ज्यादा एयर फ्लो, जो करे कमरे के हर कोने को सेकंडों में एक जैसा ठंडा, क्योंकि डॉलन्स रिलायबल है.
How dry it's starting to look, and Pakistan are certainly one of the best in the world when it comes to reverse swing. Just wonder now whether those visitors later on in the match will be able to use the dryness of that square and get the ball to reverse swing, which we haven't seen here in Galle throughout the Australian series. All here, just a touch.
Yeah, you're right, just a touch. In the second innings, when Naseem Shah and Hassan Ali bowling in tandem, we saw the ball reversing just a bit, and that was enough for the tailenders. They were easily dislodged by the Pakistani fast bowlers. And at the moment, it's been a struggle for Ashandar.
Two standing umpires for today are Rod Tucker from Tucker, Australia, and Kumar Dharmasena, his partner, who's stood in every single test match that we've done here. But from South Africa, Murray Erasmus will be the TV umpire.
He was brilliant in the first test match. Right, Erasmus. It's not easy in these kind of pitches to make right decisions all the times. He was brilliant. It's going to be a challenge.
And I think umpire Kumar Dharmasena had a very good last day. Very good last day. We know that there's been some decisions that have gone against him over the last month or so, but that last day was really, really trying. There was appeals left, right and centre, and he was spot on.
They could easily spot some tentativeness in Demuth's demeanour out there in the middle. He's not very comfortable, he's not sure whether to play the deliveries of the front foot or go on the back foot. And it's very important for the Pakistani bowlers to spot that. try and get him on the front foot. That's where the most openers are vulnerable against the new ball.
Shaheen Shah Afridi, as you mentioned, tentative outside that off stump and just gets an inside edge onto the stumps. The second innings, it was Nawaz who accounted for the captain. Got a few in that second innings. Not available for selection. Shaheen Shah Afridi, what a champion he is with the ball. 99 test wickets already, 4 in the first innings here in Galle in that first test match in what were not seamer conditions. Asking questions. 2 without loss.
It has been a quiet start. These openers have been made to absorb the pressure which is being created by the Pakistani bowlers.
Surya down to come in at number 10. He'll want his feet up for the entire day.
हमारी अपनी बुटीक की लॉन्च है और डिजाइनर हेयर फॉल का शिकार मॉडल वाले बालों के लिए मॉडल वाले शैम्पू फॉर हेयर फॉल पैंटीन इज माय चॉइस।
इसमें है फर्मेंटेड राइस वाटर और प्रो विटामिन फॉर्मूला जो सिर्फ 14 दिन में हेयर फॉल कम करे।